Welcome guys to Remax episode 24. It's January 22nd. We're here today. What? Come on, man. You're a pro gamer too. Like, you never look at the day. Don't kid me. But yeah, guys, we're back, and this week we have a lot to talk about. BM in-game and outside the game. WCS wouldn't make the cut, and possibly salaries, depending on when WCS EU ends. Pengwin will be joining us. So let's start with the intros. HuK, what you have been up to, and how are you?
Hi, first of all. I qualified for WCS Challenger.
Nice.
Other than that, been doing some other shit that's very boring and very tedious and very annoying, so I haven't been practicing that much, but pretty calm last week or so.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. What about you, Nathanias? What have you been up to?
Hey, winning some high-profile show matches, streaming a lot. And,
against who, Nathanias?
It's I'm not even sure. I can't remember the name, but it was a close one, and just kind of playing a lot of StarCraft in general.
In Destiny? What have you been up to?
Playing the games.
Yeah. All right.
Did you play in any matches, official or just show matches?
Yeah,
or
a pretty bad run.
Okay.
Pretty bad week.
All right. Well, personally, I dyed my hair ginger, which kind of looks ginger on stream, but not that much. But anyway, let's get into it. The first topic of the day will be BM in the game and outside the game. Now, I believe we do have some experts on the panel about this. Well, HuK historically kind of known for his taunting, and then Destiny, well, doesn't
What?
need... What?
I'm known for being BM? I don't think that's
For
the case.
taunting people.
Taunting. Okay.
Yes. It's like sort of passive-aggressive, right?
I think your terminology is a little skewed, but
Yeah, well, go on. Why don't you think so?
I don't think I'm BM. I think I'm playful. Is the word I would use.
Oh,
I think Idra would use a similar word.
yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, so first of all, we're gonna start with Naniwa calling out Kane on Twitter, saying, because like basically a bunch of people are just like rallying up against Naniwa, trying to make like some street cred for themselves, just attacking him, and then Kane kind of baited him into it. And then Naniwa replied with, "Don't worry, he's bound to get booed." He said, "Hope you don't lose your other leg for that comment too." So making fun of a disability. Destiny, what are your thoughts on that?
It's pretty fucking hardcore, and anyone went for the fucking throat, man.
No, but like, okay, so when it comes to BM, like, where do you draw the line? Do you like, where do you draw the line?
I don't know. I think usually you want to probably try to stay away from like super fucked up shit.
Yeah.
I think morally it's fine. It's just like the backlash you're gonna receive. Like I have no problem.
It's fine.
Yeah, I have no problem with someone that wants to start shit. Like the person that starts it, right, and like ends up talking shit, and then the other person comes at them with like the biggest thing they could hurt them with. Then, I mean, that's.
You don't think there's like
There's degrees.
What's the guy say in like the West Wing when the fake president talks about like retaliating within a certain measure?
Like eye for an eye kind of shit.
What's the phrase? Let me be fucking.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know
proportional response. Proportional response is what I'm thinking of, right? Like, I feel like that's like a thing, right?
Yeah, I mean,
If
Nano
somebody were to
definitely.
come up, if somebody were to like come up to you at like an esports event to fuck with you, and they were to like stick a finger in your side to make you jump, and then you were to turn around and you were to like drive your fist into their nose as hard as you possibly can to try to fucking kill them. Like I feel like there's like a like it's not like proportional. I think that's like important to keep in mind sometimes. If somebody makes like a general comment and like your shit, I don't know if you want to come back like you want to like open with the like, by the way, don't lose your other leg, bitch. Like I feel like
Yeah.
I
like,
mean,
jump to
that's.
like the last page of the book like real quick. I don't know.
I think that's like, but the way I see it is, Kane went for like the softest spot for Nanoa, right? He didn't say like, you suck now,
I mean, I
or something.
disagree. He went for something where Naniwa like fucking did like some stupid fucking shit publicly related to the game. I mean, if you wanted to go like the softer spots than Naniwa, like you could do a lot of other shit. No, like you could get more fucked up. If you want to bring up like flow shit or something like that, like you could,
That's true.
I mean, like if you wanted to be like, there was like, wait, that's not even close to like soft spot for Naniwa. That's just like some stupid fucking public shit that he did.
Yeah, I guess
Like-
Nanoa did escalate it quite a bit.
Yeah, like I feel like if it would have been a scenario where like say like Naniwa's dad died and then like
Yeah,
he
yeah.
rage quit the tournament because he was so upset, like that would be one thing. But it's like Naniwa made like a conscious decision to rage quit a tournament. He's done similar kind of dumb shit before, like that, like the 5 probe rush against FUK or the 6 probe rush against an ST, like shit like that. Like I don't feel like Naniwa can get like too pissed off at that if like people are, you know, like if people like call him out on shit that he's
Yeah,
ultra publicly while representing a team.
yeah, he definitely escalated it.
You know, like I don't know.
So, what kind of do you just try to not do like a personal attack, and then if he goes too far, you reply with something that goes too far too, or like, is there like
The smartest choice is to
Yeah.
never reply. Like, if you want to be the ultra clean, super good, grubby image thing, you just never reply. Or if you reply, it's super, super clean and funny and sarcastic, but you never make it personal. But I always feel like not replying is always the best choice, because you can never come out bad if you don't reply.
Well, it depends on what best. In terms of like sponsorship and all that, I would
Yeah,
agree
yeah.
with that 100%. Yeah, but in terms of like you want to
If you're
win the
known
zinger
for
war,
being a shit talker and
if
don't
you want to win the
respond-
zinger war and you've got some good ones, I mean, fucking fire away. But you have
Yeah.
to be ready, right, for anything to happen. And like HuK said, like I can't think of a single instance ever of like exchanged BM where like the guy that was like firing back like came out looking like really good at the end and everybody was really hot. Like you're always gonna rustle some people's feathers, you know, when you do shit like that.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Nathanias? As a caster, you kind of have to watch your words. You know, you've had some
Yeah.
Reddit threads about you being BM before.
To be fair, that comes out of some of the dumbest shit ever though, because it's like my VODs get muted because I listen to music, and then the guy's like, Nathan, you said I was a piece of shit. I'm like, actually, when I played versus you, I said GG, well played. My VOD was muted, so how do you know what I said out loud about you in our game when I was playing against you? So
I
then
don't
I don't
know.
feel
What
bad.
about
When
what about
that
the
happens, I don't feel
screenshots?
bad anymore.
What about the screenshots, Nathanias?
There are screenshots? There are no. If there are screenshots of me saying mean things, they're from a very long time ago, so I don't really care anyway. That was like when I was in like Diamond League that I would tell people they're idiots in game.
Yeah.
As far as what the players do, I don't think I could say too much else from like what Steven said. You want to escalate at an equal pace, right? You don't want to talk about the person's like dead parents or something just because they said that, you know, you lost like this one important show match to a nobody or something dumb like that. But yeah, it just depends on what the players want, because it's different for Naniwa and Kane, for example, because Naniwa doesn't have like a team right now. Like obviously, if he wants to get a team, then he's only going to be looking at people that are okay with him doing that. But there's no immediate negative. There's just a lot of attention, which you could also argue is good for him anyway, right? Because that's kind of what he's known for. But then there's like Kane, who if he says, you know, if he decides to pull some crazy personal or really offensive shit out, then he has his team to answer to, right? And considering that he lives with them and there's travel involved and maybe he's salaried, then it becomes a really big deal as to what you're risking when you decide to tell someone, you know, go kill themselves or something stupid.
Yeah. So basically, when we put this on the show, me and HuK, there was only the Naniwa and Kane, but then the stars aligned, and then the Destiny versus Rough show match happened. Steven, do you have anything to?
When I originally made my shit, I like we BM each other. There's a history there. We BM each other on ladder a fuck ton. Like
You and Ruff?
Like, oh yeah, every fucking game. I fucking hate him. He fucking manner mealed me like the game before in the show match. Like fucking like, oh god, I hate him so much. But the when I made that comment, like what I heard is that like I think he said like his girlfriend and his mom got in a fight, so like they had to move out. So like I made like the joke, I was like, go fucking pay your mom rent or some stupid shit like it. And then he like made the post on Reddit where he's like, both my mom's feet got crushed, so I moved back, and it's like, fuck, like, I don't fucking know that shit, like, holy shit. So I think a lot of people read Ruff's comment and thought that I was making fun of, like, his disabled, like, injured fucking mom. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah.
I just love, by the way, it's because I have the Twitch stream open, so I see desRow, like, pulling up the image and enlarging it as you're talking about it. Great production quality there,
desRow. Oh, I
got
so mad. I used autism and faggot. Oh, my God. Dude, this game was so fucking stupid.
That was a pretty dumb game, to be fair.
Oh my!
All those games
God.
are really dumb. Let's be
honest.
honest.
They were. Even the ones I won, I fucking hated my life. This game was literally like 2-base opener. He took a fast third on the fucking island that I quick dropped to fucking shut that shit down. It was pretty much like any other Terran in the game. At that point, if you would have put fucking innovation in his spot, like I had the game won. I was like fucking 6 bases to 2. But then the magical rough squad of like 27 Ravens and like 42 Vikings just start flying around the fucking corners of the map, like throwing auto throw. Oh my god, I wanted to fucking kill myself. These games also came off the back of the show match being delayed by almost an hour, I think, because those scary deep fucking pieces of shit kept spam joining the lobby, and for some reason Blizzard doesn't give us the ability to fucking ban people from the lobby.
It's weird. Yeah, that's weird.
Oh my god, dude, I was tweeting so much shit at Blizzard. I was like, I'm about to start boosting accounts, and dude, I was so fucking mad. I was so fucking mad.
When I get angry, I just boost accounts for no reason.
Well, I don't know,
all those platinum leaguers I'm gonna wreck along the way.
Tweeting illegal shit and stuff. Dude, I was so fucking mad. Oh my god, you have no idea how fucking upset I was.
Yeah.
In Steven's defense, I would like to say, you know, it does also come down to like if you don't know, right? The difference between like people being upset about what Destiny says and what Naniwa says, it's like, well, Naniwa knows that Kane only has one leg, right? If you tell someone, it's like, well, I hope you break your leg, and then everyone's like, wow, you didn't know that Kane only has one leg, you're telling him to break the only leg he has, and it's like, okay, like, how the fuck are you supposed to know that if you know what I mean, if it's not something that's public knowledge? Yeah. So, you know, I don't think it's terribly uncommon for nerds to tell each other to move out of their mother's houses. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty common knowledge that, like, I live with Roddy in California with one of the other guys, and I still get people that message me saying, hey, when are you going to move out of your mother's basement? I'm like, dude, I don't, you know, it's like, is this the part where I'm supposed to, like, get all, you know, like, super fucking Russell to be like, well, actually, I came up from a single-parent family, and I don't even live with them, so you're, like, a horrible person, and I hope that you never get an opportunity to get a job ever again. It's like, no. So, there's varying degrees. Like, I don't think there's any way that Steven's supposed to just know that his mother recently had some sort of thing like that. But, you know, it's the internet, so people will assume that he should be sensitive to that stuff anyway.
I think in general, a certain level of BM is good for the game, you know? Because, like, you need to have rivalries and you need to have people that don't get along with each other to make matches more exciting. Like, the Nanowad versus Nurchio match is going to be really, really good because you know they don't get along and there's a lot of hype there. It's, like, the perfect thing. But, yeah, in general, don't take it too far. If you take it too far, you're going to get into trouble. I mean, if you're like Destiny and you don't really have to answer to too many people, you generally can take it a lot further, and your fans might actually like it. But it's all like brand management and how you want to be viewed and stuff. And I feel like even nowadays, players don't think about that kind of stuff a lot. Like what was the guy that drew penises with scans and...
Lillikin.
Yeah, like... I don't know if he actually serious about becoming an SC2 pro and like being on a professional team and all that, but like none of that stuff is ever gonna fly on any professional team. So I don't know if players really think about this stuff. I know I used to be a lot wilder than I am nowadays with what I wrote on forums and stuff, but
yeah.
Yeah. So before we move on, before people think like,
Whoa! Are you conveniently gonna leave out the desRow versus Warren?
That's exactly what I
Drama?
was gonna know. That's exactly what I was gonna bring up.
Warrant.
Yeah.
You motherfucker.
I actually, Destiny called me out in the pro gamer chat. He's like, "You're really autistic on Reddit. You should watch out." But alright. So here's what happened. All right. I play versus a guy that just like goes to Swarmos and like he plays really bad, like insanely bad. Like it didn't make sense how the
Do I have to make another thread?
No. But like he played really like bad, even though I played worse than him. All right. And so after the game 2, when the game we're in the lobby. He's like, "I'm shaking. My hands are shaking." I'm like, "Holy shit, this fucking kid, man!" It's like one of his first time in front of that many viewers. So I'm like, "All right, well, I guess I'll talk a little bit of shit to throw him off."
But this is the problem. No one believes that the reason you talk shit was for you to get into his head. Everybody believes
It's
that
okay
you
to
did
be
that.
Russell, Desi.
Yeah.
Yeah, like no one looks at that, knows your personality, knows that you've been rustled before, and then thinks, "Oh, desRow's playing some like high-level mind games here by talking shit." They're like, he's losing against fucking Swarm Host. He thinks the guy is shit. No wonder he's raging about it. And then after you come into it and you're like, "Yeah, I was playing some high-level mind games by talking shit because he was nervous." And everybody's like, desRow, no one fucking believes you. Why would you?
Well, I mean, that's kind of what I was going for, man. Like, there's no... I'm not known for balance whining. I just wanted to throw him off, man. But I guess, like...
So you're sticking to that story.
Yes,
still.
I'm sticking to that story, man. I think
Okay.
I think if you're gonna BM, the last thing you should do is trying to justify it, because you give a reason for people to continue being upset with your behavior.
But that's what you did. That's what you just fucking did.
What do you mean?
This whole conversation was you. You just said, if you're gonna be BM, I feel like you shouldn't try to justify it because then it's like fucking worse. And then
Yeah, but-
that's what you're doing right now.
No, but okay. So writing that post was really dumb. Like I'm gonna agree to that. I should have, like, if I have my reason, I should keep them to myself. Like I put it out there. Like people can take it or leave it. All right.
Uh-huh.
Are you not satisfied? Call me out if you want. I don't care.
No, I like if I had to guess what was going through your brain,
Yeah.
you were just raging.
No.
You were just mad. And
No.
then afterwards you're like, fuck, this is bad. What can I say? And then it was crisis management desRow on the line, and he was like, "I know. I'll say that I was talking shit, just to like." And I was just like, when I read it, I was like, desRow, no, I didn't
No?
say anything, but
All
now
right.
I gotta say something now at this point.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna move on.
Fucking Destiny's gone.
He said
He's like,
BRB.
give me
He
my
just drove off
Patreon
to
money.
Starbucks. He's like, "I'm looking to get my fucking hot chocolate right now."
He's
man.
like, I've showed up. Where's my $30 for being on the show? And he's fucking out. Sending me PayPal money.
God damn it. Well, I'm kind of
Yeah.
happy that he missed out on the me versus Warren thing.
Yeah. Best that he was not here. Or was not bringing up when he gets back.
All right. Well, WCS, Wu failed to qualify. So we're just gonna talk about the people who failed to qualify. I mean, obviously, we're not.
Let's just shit on everyone that failed. Let's do the
shit on
list.
everybody. Let's talk about who we're most surprised by that didn't get in first. Like who are we actually surprised that didn't get in?
There's a
I'd
list.
say-
Yeah, there's a list in the Google
yeah,
Doc.
we have a list. I would say the names on this one that stand out to me the most. I really thought Petraeus would get in, and I don't know. I actually thought the Muslim would get in too, because I know he's been playing a lot.
I would say my top one would be Petraeus, and my second would be Daishi, and my third would be Mini Razor. What about you, desRow?
Daishi, number one. Oh, he's been playing so much heroes. Shit. But Mini Razor's been in Root House, living the life of,
Casualness.
yeah. Fuck, man. I feel like Petraeus, alright, Petraeus, and for an A, I guess Intense.
I crushed that dream, baby.
Rip. Well, you know, poor Intense, man. That guy ran into Polt, like, I think 3 of the
Yeah.
qualifiers. Like, he got fucked. Let's be real here.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually more of a shame because he might have had such a better chance if Polt just made it in at the first one after he lost to Polt once, but then Hydra had to basically set him up for double disappointment. Now I'd have to agree. For some reason I was like I had really high hopes that like Ghost User would have somehow like returned back to Pro Game.
Winter
okay.
Winter almost beat him, right?
Yeah, that was really surprising. I mean, I beat Ghost User on ladder the other day. I don't know. I thought he was going to be like really, really top form, but I guess he hasn't been playing long enough yet.
But the thing is, he trades games with me. I don't get it. Maybe he's like one just against my style or something. He's really good, or I'm shit. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. These results though, I feel the most for Petraeus because apparently, like when they did the final qualifier and they calculated all the points, Petraeus was like the highest one that didn't actually end up making it in, and I think he was very close, and he like lost it a lot of the times to like ZVZ and shit. So it's really disheartening to see that because I think he's really good, and I think he's been like
I'm a Petraeus fanboy.
Yeah. I think he's been on the come up for a while too.
Yeah, he's definitely like the most deserving that didn't get in. I think no offense. Yeah. But yeah, it comes to like a breaking point for some of these players, like the Muslim and sort of not making it in. Like that's kind of huge. Like where do they go from here? You know, because they were so like.
I feel like sort of's been kind of off.
Yeah, I don't think sort of. Yeah, I don't think sort of's.
No offense to sort of, he just hasn't been. Like I've seen his name and he like tried to qualify. Like the last time I don't know if it counts as recent enough. Like the last time I saw him was like he played in Fragbite and he actually did kind of okay. They didn't get very far, so it was like whatever. But yeah. I'm not too sad about that. I'm not too surprised, I guess.
But if we look at in terms of skill level, like sort of the Muslims about like the same boat. No,
I don't put them. No, I don't put them in the same boat.
No.
The Muslim's a king and sort of a peasant.
The Muslim is
not
like
that extreme, but
I mean, the Muslim I think has always been a player that's pretty easy to prepare for. At least the way, not that I've like prepared for and beaten him in a match, but from the way that people talk about him. Or like when you watch his games, you kind of see a lot of the same thing from him. So I'm not surprised, but he, consistently holds. Like when I was living with him in Sweden, like he spent the entire month that we were together, like in top 16 on like 2 accounts, just playing all day. So like he's not bad, but I guess in series, other players have a pretty easy time preparing against him. So,
anyways, let's move on. This is boring.
Oh, you added me to the list. Nice, thank you.
I meant it more as a joke, but...
Wow! Alright, way too, like, you're such a... Alright. So, that's actually, like, a pretty big topic, this next one. The Swarmos PDD change. So, it's, like, historically, Blizzard has never made, like, huge core changes to the game.
I want to make a statement. Sorry to cut you off, co-host. Last week we were on Remax and I actually said like I went on like this large rant on like this shit'll never happen, they're never gonna make drastic changes, we might as well just like focus on the new maps and that opening up the games, and I want to apologize because I was fucking completely wrong about that. And segmenting into what desRow was about to say is that Blizzard's actually the biggest surprise, not even the balance changes themselves, is that Blizzard's willing to like take the game and like completely drastically change it when they have always done balance changes and game changes like very slow, conservative compared to other developers.
Yes, that's very true. Compared to Riot and Valve, it's really hard to live up to that. But they've decided to... so after seeing Little Cannon just being a really turtly player...
You're about to say retard. Don't even lie. You were so close to saying that R word.
Alright, so I was playing mind games to try to affect his gameplay. No, but seriously, so after seeing Little Cannon just turtle for 4 hours and so on, Blizzard said...
Do you think that's it?
I think this is the... Well, I know the answer, so... But, I'm just making assumptions here, right?
Okay.
That, they just had enough and they don't want that sort of playstyle because even though, like, it puts... it raises the viewer count because people are like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? After 3 hours. It's just not fun to play or watch. So...
I think eventually, too, it would get pretty stale.
Yeah.
Like, Because remember in the ZVZ games, when it first happened and there was like a tie, Swarm Host versus Swarm Host, people were like, oh, it's cool, it's breaking records. But eventually everybody was like, fuck, this is going to be so boring. And people started to tune out and stuff. So like, when it's like breaking the longest game record, everybody's like, oh, it's funny, let's watch. But then like after a little bit, it's like, fuck, this is just stupid. And people really don't want to watch it anymore.
Yeah, there reaches a certain point where this shit gets out of hand. And it becomes a quality of life thing. Like, just the fact that they're even considering making such a change like this instead of keeping it as like, well, guys, you can get this change by buying Legacy of the Void. You know, that says a lot about, like, the thing is, it's really, really important. In my opinion, I think that, like, for example, this change is good because even if it's imba as fuck, at least they can, like, tweak the numbers on the new shit instead of letting it still be this stupid turtle fest. Yeah. But, like, I would rather the game, like, you know, like, I guess because I play Terran, this patch has almost no relevance to me outside of Mech TVZ, in which case it's mostly a nerf for Terran. But, like, when I think about it in terms of PvC, I'm like, okay, maybe Protoss or Zerg win rates drop real quick because some new Swarm Host cheese pops up or Zergs just can't beat Deathball Protoss. But then just buff something else, right? Because then it's still so much more interesting than the old Swarm Host play. Like, it feels, I guess it's really bad to say this because I'm sure no pro gamer would agree with me that this makes sense. But I really don't have a problem. Like, if it fucks up the game for, like, just like a couple weeks while they find a good way to tweak it, then I'm okay with that because the end of it needs to end. The fucking dumb Swarm Host games where some guy that has like the lowest APM ever survives off 2 bases or some shit and
Are you
gets
talking about
Swarm Hosts
Snoot?
out. No, anybody. The number of game, like, it's just when I think
desRow
about
trying to bait so hard.
okay, I'm just thinking. Okay, just look at it this way, because you guys, as Protoss players, you understand this. This is one of the reasons why I don't like to play Protoss a lot. I really don't like playing PvZ. The Zerg player, once they have those Swarm Hosts out and static defense on them, you know they have their Swarm Hosts rallied to you, and they don't have to really do much unless you like move your army in some crazy way. They just sit there and fucking rally. But just like, I envision in my head that same player doing whatever he's doing, but now he suddenly has to press the fucking button to make the locust pop out, press the button again to make them land before running into whatever your anti-air is or some shit. Like, there's so much more that they have to do, and it doesn't even if they did it, no, they're not going to be perfect humans. It's the same thing with like injecting. So there'll be a couple of extra seconds between the waves. It's not this perfect every 30 seconds. The wave always comes out and is rallied in the perfect direction. You know what I mean?
And attack moves very easily.
Yes.
And everything. Yeah, I agree. And it'll open up the game and like, because people won't like necessarily think of this, but like your War Prism harass is going to do a lot better all of a sudden. Your army movement's going to be more effective. Like everything you do in the game is going to be a lot harder for the Zerg to keep up with. Where before it was Swarm Host players were so good because they, like you said, they just have to rally shit and then they just like, okay, I just gotta fucking sit here and secure bases one by one and make sure I don't die to anything stupid and like set down static defense and just take my big cloud of Vipers and start pulling shit or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I think one thing that people haven't talked about is like, so Swarmos not being the same is going to affect late game PvZ, and then it's going to affect PDD, it's going to affect like when you go Tempest. So I'm thinking maybe they should put in the new Tempest into the game.
I mean, it's
like, already so crazy. Like,
yeah, if they want to try that later down the line, I personally don't care. When I think about TVP, I'm like, I can't remember the last time I thought about Tempests, except when I was casting Roddy versus Semper, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and that's not even in the same galaxy as a regular TVP game. So I think stuff like that's a bit silly. I don't think about Tempest late game versus Terran because maps like Ultrazine don't even. Without maps like that, you're not gonna see that shit ever again.
What? So, you can see it like if a
we haven't seen just to lay this out there. There hasn't been Tempest in a PVT like broadcasted outside of Rotterdam versus Xenocider and Semper. There haven't been Tempests in TVP in like months. I actually can't remember the last time that I saw them outside of like Pig Baby versus Bomber, which was an equally fucked up game.
I meant like late game. Like
It doesn't happen. It doesn't matter.
Can you say one game?
Does like some random ladder game where a Terran player who doesn't know how to play the fucking game plays too passively and lets the Protoss get Tempest?
What?
So then that's his reason to start whining about PDE.
What?
Like, no, fuck that guy. Play better.
But desRow, can you legitimately think of a game that was streamed?
Yeah,
an actual pro game, a broadcast.
We don't see like 5 basis PVTs anymore. It just ends on 3 base.
Yeah, but that's the point.
Yeah, but
at that point you're looking at changing other things like
but the biggest concern was Swarmos. Like if you don't have the same Swarmos, then Mass Tempest is gonna like be a problem.
I think the game's gonna change so much. They're more willing to see where it goes at this point than to keep the Swarm host in and know where it is.
Okay,
that makes sense.
Okay.
What is it? Wait, what do you mean by the game is going to change so much?
So we're talking about the Swarm host shit right now and the ramifications of making sweeping design changes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but the idea that the game is going to change so much, like.
Well, I mean, so much.
I feel like it's only. I feel like it's only a nerf in so far as like ZVP goes, you know.
But yeah, but that's my point. It's like Mass Tempest is going to be too good because the Locusts are not going to be able to push back the Templars as much. So if you nerf the Tempest, and that makes the Broodlords more viable. Because Tempest can shoot up.
I think the game's just going to change in so many ways as far as like the pace of it being played, what strategies Zergs are going to use more.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if Borrowed Roaches become the most popular thing now, how the fuck are Tempests going to come into play? It's not going to matter. Tempests are mainly only used because of Swarm Host. And if Swarm Hosts aren't used as much, Tempests aren't going to be used as much either.
All right.
Tempests are pretty good against Broodlord compositions too, no?
Yeah, but Broodlords aren't used much either. You're the only player.
The reason why they don't use them is because Swarm Host is so much better. Like that's
But that's what I mean. But does that mean that all Zerg players are all of a sudden just going to default to Broodlords now? Not necessarily.
Are there any Zergs that play late game that don't involve Swarm Hosts?
Yeah, there's like the Zergling Ultra Viper Infestor composition that Betrayus uses very, very often that does really well. ZVP. As well as other Zergs. I mean, the most common, obviously, is always going to be Swarm Hosts at this point. But I don't think necessarily all Zerg players are going to default to Broodlords now because Swarm Hosts are gone. I think it would be more likely that they go into like Roach Hydra compositions or more Muta switches like they were doing before, or into Zergling Ultra Infestor Viper.
Okay, but I feel that there's just late game.
I'd like to ask Steven, as the Zerg player here, who most people seem to think that this change would make the game more difficult for Zerg. Would you rather have Swarm Hosts as they are now, or have like 1 week where ZVP really sucks after this change, and then Blizzard like buffs Hydras like retardedly strong, and then just have something other than Swarm Hosts to use? Like, do you think that it's, as a Zerg player, it's more fun to play with Swarm Hosts, or would you rather your other units got better?
Swarm Hosts are shit, but it's just because Protoss is shit. Swarm Hosts pretty much only exists, I think, because of Protoss. No, so I'm saying, like, I don't even have the design thing. Swarm Hosts are a shitty unit. I don't like them at all. Like, the entire purpose of the Swarm Host, like, you can go back and find the fucking Davy logs and fucking quote them. Why was the Swarm Host put in the game? Oh, well, we didn't, like, really turtley scenarios where the Protoss could turtle or whatever without the Zerg being able to push, so now we give them Swarm Hosts, which are siege units. And the Swarm Host has turned the game into more boring than any other fucking unit. Like, it clearly didn't meet the criterion that, or didn't fulfill the purpose that it was set out to do, you know? So, I mean, I feel like the changes need to be made to Protoss. I feel like that most of the Zerg shit like works pretty well. I think the Storm Host should just be fucking removed from the game. It's just a terrible fucking unit. Why would you why even make it like a mobile flyer fucking hugely gas intensive harass unit? Why does he use mutas? I mean, I don't know.
Then my next question is, assuming that Blizzard's willing to make a design change to like basically remove the Swarm Host with this type of patch, or at least the Swarm Host as it is, would you like believe that there's a reasonable way if they would make a small design-ish type change to Protoss that would allow you to do something else other than make Swarm Hosts?
No, I think
Protoss
needs like a massive overhaul. Like, people talk about like radical design changes, like changing the Storm Hosts as a radical design change. A radical design change would be like completely reworking Protoss, like getting rid of some like fundamental Protoss aspects and then like going back and reworking the entire thing. Like, in my opinion.
Well, I guess that's gotta come in like Legacy or some shit. Well, at least if it was,
It's not
if it
coming in
was,
Legacy, though.
you wouldn't. Well, you wouldn't get it. You wouldn't get it out of a patch. I'm just thinking about in the context of like individual patches like this. I don't know. I like this Swarmhost change. I'm just thinking about making it work for Zerg players.
Yeah. Just a little bit of info. They released the stats on the new Swarmhost, which would be 100 minerals, 200 gas. It would
Ravens.
it would take 400 or 4D seconds. It would be 4 supply. Doesn't start with borrow. The
Doesn't
enduring
need to be burrowed to cast.
yeah, it
something.
doesn't need to be borrowed. You need an upgrade for them to fly, and it does more damage. So it does 12 damage. The attack speed is faster, but they only last 30 seconds. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see them be like a gas dump, rather than just very expensive on minerals. Are you guys excited to see Swarmhost harassment HuK?
No. Of course not.
Why not?
What is so the flying upgrade? So before that, they're just like normal swarm hosts.
Yes.
Before that, they're like normal swarm hosts, except I don't. Unless you you have to, like, if you research burrow, then you can rally them, but you can't auto cast the locust. And if you use them when they're unburrowed, I don't believe there's any way to rally. So you spawn them, you wait for the egg things to pop, which takes a few seconds, and then you aim move them. So
it's like it's really you need to see because it's buffed in some ways and it's nerfed in some ways. I think most people agree that the style altogether is definitely nerfed.
yeah, it's not the same unit. It doesn't feel like, at least.
Yeah, but I don't know how applicable it could be in the game. I mean, it sounds like it could be very useful in certain situations, but it's definitely not going to be like the bread and butter build that Zerg's going to be doing every single game.
Like, it's weird. It's getting completely moved to like a completely different role.
But
Like, it feels really weird.
No, but at the same time, it is. You're right. But I feel like they're trying once again to use it as it was meant to be at the beginning, which was like very the picture I get is that you're on 4 or 5 base as Zerg and Protoss is on 2 base, and you need something to like push them and to make them do something instead of just
Yeah, but I
sitting
don't
there
think
and
like fucking. So now I have 10 swarm hosts to do that. I can launch one volley of shit and then it's gone, and it's fucking 40 supply out of my army. So I have 40 supply in that. I've got 70 supply in
But
drones.
it's still free. It's still free units, and you're like the situation I'm picturing is you're up on the game. So it's not like you're
Yeah, but another problem is that it's so
units.
easy to max out in this game that being up in the game. This isn't like, I don't know if you remember in Brood War, it was pretty rare for games to be like maxed out like the entire fucking game, right? Like,
Yeah,
unless
that's
you-
a Legacy's gonna make doing that more difficult. But for
Yeah, like in,
HuKs,
like in StarCraft 2, like you get maxed out, like I don't know. For some reason, I felt like the supply cap in Brood War was never that big of a deal. I never remember playing Brood War. I was shit, right? I was only B- IC cap. So maybe you have a different experience now because you were really good at Brood War, right? You were pretty fucking good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I never remember hitting supply walls in Brood War like all the time. Like,
that's-
oh fuck, I'm maxed out. But in StarCraft 2, it's a very real thing. Like in StarCraft 2, like you can lose a ZVZ because you made 60 drones and your opponent only made like 42, so he had like 8 more roaches than you, and then he runs you over. Like stupid shit like that happens. Like if you have only 10 swarm hosts eating away 40 of your supply, you've got like 80, 90 supply now. That's it to dedicate to an army. That's like 20 roaches and 25 hydras, and that's your whole maxed out army. Like I don't know. I feel like the supply thing just makes it so fucking huge that like once your locusts are gone, you just have this huge dead weight in your army. And it's like fuck.
The
only
supply
thing that
thing
sounds-
is going to be addressed on Legacy of the Void, like Nate said. But as far as the situation in my mind that I'm picturing that this is really applicable is going to be the part where you're up like 1 or 2 more bases, well 2 or 3 bases on the Protoss. And even if you have that much supply dedicated to this unit, I think it's going to do like it does more damage now, right? And it has a higher.
I think about shit like the flying locusts on a map like King Sejong Station. I guess it won't matter by the time that this patch goes through. That map won't be in play. But I just imagine that you have this split map, and then your fucking flying locusts just go wherever the opposing army isn't. Because I don't know if any of you guys watch like Total Biscuits tournament, but
on Habitation Station.
Yeah, like the Habitation Station game, and when we were actually at BlizzCon, they let us play the game before because we were going to be like casting it or whatever. So we got to like play around with the alpha there before the event. And I was like watching Moonglade play against Roddy, and he sends like 1 wave off of like maybe 6 or 8 swarm hosts, because these are basically the Legacy of the Void swarm hosts that they're putting into the game. And he like that 1 wave of locusts drops down, and the amount of damage that these things do now is like it's fucking dirty, man. He sniped the Nexus and like 2 Colossi before they died. So like these things, if you get them and you use them, you know, they still fuck shit up. Like it's gonna take a pretty reasonable amount of defense to stop like the harass, but I guess the supply also cuts into what else you're gonna have to stop like a counterattack or whatever.
I think it'll be fine. I don't think it'll be a big issue. Even if it was, it's a necessary change that can be tweaked in certain ways.
Yes,
you know,
exactly. I like that a lot. I think anything beats the stupid, slow, boring games, and I say the same for the Raven. You know, I agree. If somehow desRow, if somehow this fucking late game Tempest bullshit becomes unstoppable because we only have 20-second PDDs, I am okay with them tweaking it in some other way, because fuck these stupid Raven...
I mean, the PDD thing was kind of like off topic about the Tempest, but the Mass Tempest versus Zerg could be a problem. I just picture it, man.
Well, like I said, it's something I would rather them add a Hive upgrade that gives the Viper like fucking double the pull range or some shit.
Oh baby, maybe
I would rather
high-tech
that
upgrade for
this
Infestor
Slump
Neuroparasite range to go back to 11 or whatever.
They're taking it away, man.
That
You're
would be so
doomed.
much cooler. It would be so like I don't think anybody would argue that like giving some sort of other way to deal with it than having some boring unit that just sits there for forever. Like, how can you possibly argue that Swarm hosts are more entertaining to watch than some sort of ability that would allow you to deal with it normally?
I heard Vortex is coming back soon.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Isn't he on some pro heroes team now, like all the other Europeans?
No, I meant the
Oh, he was
ability.
talking
on
about the
them.
spell, you fucking idiot.
Oh!
You even play this game, Nathanias?
Sorry, I was. saving this for-
Anyways, I think we all agree that the change is overall a step in the right direction.
We didn't
and
discuss
hopefully-
of the PDD, though.
But there's not. It's the same.
There's
It's the
nothing to
same
discuss.
conversation.
So should-
Everybody thinks that's a good
Good thing.
change.
The only other thing that the PDD affects, and I think this is still good, because TVT is terrible right now for like on most of the maps because of the way that Doom drops and shit work. If your opponent opens up with 2 Vikings and a Raven, which is one of the most standard ones, and you open up with like a Banshee and a Viking, they place a PDD and you're fucked because they basically have you by the balls for 2 minutes, since they can win with like 1 Viking against
I think
or
it's
3.
I think it's
No,
4 minutes.
well, without the durable materials,
With
PDD
it,
is
yeah,
like
with the upgrade, I think it's 4 minutes. I think it's 180 plus 60.
3
So I
minutes.
think
It's 3 minutes with
Plus 1, yeah.
with
Without
the
the-
upgrade.
no, it's 3 minutes without the upgrade. It's fucking
yeah.
ridiculous.
Anyway, it's too fucking
It's
long. is my
fucking
point.
ridiculous.
So TVT one base pushes or TVT like contains are going to be easier to deal with. All right, Avalos career is over is basically what it means.
Oh shit! It
Yeah.
went there.
Anyways,
Anyways.
I mean, I'm just saying like turtley styles like that aren't gonna work, and I think it's for the better. I really like the idea, and like when I think about this patch, I think about actually leaving my base without having 20 Ravens against a Zerg. Like if I want to play, I can actually play mech, okay, without having to basically sit in my base and build fucking Ravens.
I think.
'Cause that is in the universe.
I think Blizzard's doing a favor to like all the Swarm host players and the Velos out there in the world because they're preparing them for Legacy of the Void. You know, like all those special people like Rough Destiny. He's trying to, you know, gently push them into the Legacy of the Void light and preparing them to get away from that style so they have a better chance of
Yeah,
paying
look
their
at
mom's rent.
Looking
And they're
past
kind of
this,
doing the same with Protoss too, by not changing pretty much anything at all, right?
Oh!
okay, so to that, looking past this change, out of curiosity, if there could be like another type of change like this, and like a based around like one unit or one situation in the game, since Blizzard's obviously shown they're interested in potentially adjusting something more design related than just balance numbers, is there a chance that we get anything else? Maybe a month or two down the line, if Legacy of the Void news still hasn't really developed, because we still don't even know about beta. You know, like
I don't know.
what else could we potentially see a fix for? Is there
Or
anything
gate
else?
removed from game.
Well, let's. I mean, I think about what if they put like the fucking units take more damage while they're warping in thing. You know, like there's a lot of potential for things that could be changed. I kind of
all
like
the new maps
I
that
like
came
that
out
the
had the same
conversation-
resources.
I mean, I just like that the conversation can change from being like, oh, does this unit get like +1 attack, you know, in a balance patch, or oh, does this unit, you know, become less useful in these situations? I like the idea of Blizzard's patches going more in that direction.
Okay,
Yep.
move us along, desRow.
Yes,
I'm
I
sick
agree.
of this topic.
Yeah, it's great. All right. The next part of the show is about drama, guys. And we have the king of drama
It's
here
like
with
the-
us,
It's
Destiny.
like the whole episode as is, besides the balance talk we
Yeah,
just
wait, I
had.
thought we already talked about drama. What
No,
else
there's
is there?
more. There's more,
Uh-oh,
Steven. There's more.
It's StarCraft, man. This has been the most alive month we've had in a long time.
Yes. So basically, Pinnacle is a betting esports site. Well, they do all the sports, but they have an esports section, and they noticed some really weird patterns with the betting, which led them to believe that Sun versus Dark was fixed. It was a match fixed. So they reversed all the bets. It was insane odds for Dark to win. It was, I think, 5-1, and Sun ended up playing very sloppy. And Pinnacle just called it off, saying, Sun threw the match for money. And then Sun had to make a statement and just explaining the story that he's been very sick, a lot of wrist problems and so on. So he wasn't practicing a lot, and he felt very sorry of how things turned out. HuK, what are your thoughts on the whole issue of Pinnacle doing this?
I don't know. I don't know what information they used to pull the bet. They said it was like some internal
Algorithm.
of how they saw the betting patterns went. I don't know if that's legit or they're just like, fuck, let's like not lose a shitload of money here on this.
I talked to Kevin about this because he knows a pretty good amount as far as gambling and stuff goes and the way that these sites work.
Rip.
But I guess he said like one of the things that makes it really obvious that something's fucked up is like as people bet on one side, the odds go down or whatever. Like so I
That
guess
happens on every bet though.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I'm someone that doesn't know anything about gambling because I don't do it. But basically, it got to the point where there was so much money being put on, and then it's like, why would anybody continue to bet? And people were still. So at that point, it does seem kind of weird, but it's like the esport thing, man. You just
The
tell
problem
someone
is-
that you broke your hand, but you're still gonna play your match, and he's like, well, I'm now definitely gonna bet on the other guy. Like, how do you know that he wasn't just telling all of his friends that happened to be gamblers that he can't fucking win a game that week? I don't know.
The problem with trying to theory craft about this is that we don't have facts.
Yeah, we don't have all
to
the
specific
facts.
algorithms they're running to detect betting fraud, and obviously they're never going to release that information because to do so would make it easier to cheat the system. So I mean, it's hard to say what kind of betting patterns they saw that triggered them to call it off and think that the match might have been rigged.
Is this the one that Lelouch works for?
Yes. It
So
is.
the story behind this, for those of you that don't know, is Lelouch is a ex-Stark pro player. I think he's French or something.
No,
Played
he's
for
German.
Millennia. German?
Yeah.
German, and he retired, and then he started betting on matches, and he was basically doing really, 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 really well. And then eventually, obviously, the natural step is Pinnacle approached him and said, like, you always bet on the right people. We want to hire you to make our lines on the bets. So he got hired, and I guess he's working on it now. But I don't know. If he made like a bad line here or something, it just doesn't. I don't think it's too extreme. There's no proof, and Son on top of that just doesn't seem like the guy to do it. He's like super quiet, super mild, doesn't do anything. He's never like been out for the big money grab or selling his soul to a Zubu or some shit. Like he's always been very, very, very kind. So
Yeah. All right. So
did you just look up Dark Force? I said Lelouch.
No, Dark Force is the one.
Oh, is it Dark Force?
Yeah, I said he was German, and Lelouch is Swedish, and Lelouch is just like a nerd about like mining and mining efficiency and.
Dark Force
Oh.
used to be a poker dude. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
he's betting too.
Yeah. Anyways, I think
you
it's
got,
stupid.
Yeah, you got mixed up.
What I want to know is, with all these cheating allegations, there's that huge thing in Brood War, right? And there's huge backlash in every way. CS:GO, it seems to be like fucking rampant, happening all the time, and there's like
shit.
no, like very little repercussions or consequences. Like when it happened in Brood War, it was like fucking people got arrested. There was governmental investigations, and I understand that people are from different countries and stuff. But it seems like even the community, it's like an accepted fact by now in CS:GO. Like, well, some matches are just gonna get fucking thrown. What can we do? Like, that's what it seems like it's
Yeah.
gotten to, which is pretty fucking
Yeah.
sad.
It's like that's part of the thing, That's the struggles of esports. I mean, I haven't been following like the competitive gaming thing all that long, but from what I've heard, this comes in cycles, right? Like there was a pretty big thing with shit like this in Brood War, you know. Like
But
I just imagine
it's
if you like live in a team house with somebody and you know that they like burnt their hand fucking cooking something right before a match or some dumb shit,
No.
and then you just go tell everybody.
That's
I don't know.
completely different.
The
That's
problem is
fucking-
that I don't think, and I'm talking a lot on my ass here, but I don't think just one person placing bets would be enough to trigger
no.
that. Like,
It has to
feel
be
like
like
there
an
has to be
organized
more.
effort.
Like, it can't just be like
Yeah.
one friend. Yeah, like I can't. There's no way that like one guy heard that he broke his wrist or whatever, or that his wrist is fucked up because of RSI, and then he went and he put 200 fucking euro into the fucking bet, and he made like 800 euros. Like, I feel like it had to have been way larger than that to actually trip like some kind of fraudulent. Because match fixing on that, or not match fixing, but like betting like rigged on that level, I don't even think would go noticed. Like, there's no way that like any algorithm can be that specific because of how much variance is involved in betting and whatnot. Like, it had to have been something larger than that, I think, than just like one person knowing. Or if the one person knew, I think they had a lot of money. Just my guessing.
All right, well, that kind of wraps up Sun and Pinnacle. Rip that situation. Sun's a good guy. We'll never know the
Beautifully
truth.
said, desRow.
Rip.
Beautifully said.
I know.
We'll
I
never
should-
know the truth.
Yeah, well, that's true. We'll never know the truth. All right, so we're gonna take a small break, and when we get back, we're gonna have Pengwin on the call, coming to talk to us about StarCraft salaries, and we're gonna stretch it as far as he can because at the end of the day, you can't say everything he knows. But yeah, just we'll be back in 3 minutes. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. All right, you guys are free to go.